Alright, Agario. Let's go! Oh, only 26 people in the game. Okay. Yeah, that's alright. I'm so tired today. I had like two presentation. No, I had a presentation. The other class was pretty Mickey Mouse. Oh, ooh, weave. Uh, but yeah, presentation was on colors. I was like comparing. Are you being dead serious? Um, Compare Pete Hegseth. Does he have like a Norse or like a clan tattoo or something? What happened to Agario, guys? Agario's washed. I mean, the game is like probably 11 years old now because it came out when I was in fifth grade, believe it or not. Um, anyways, colors in like different languages and stuff like that. So it's what the theory's called. It's like the something K model, color hypothesis. Basically, how it goes is it posits that colors develop. Oh my God, hokey bots. First, you have light and dark. Those are like the original colors for like every language, according to this theory. And then from there, red develops. And then from there, either green or yellow develops. And then after that, whatever one didn't develop, the green or the yellow, the opposite counterpart develops after that point, and it kind of just goes on from there. Uh, and like basically, what I was finding is just because somebody doesn't necessarily have a term for the word doesn't mean that they don't perceive the word. It's just they have like less categories from which to put that color into. For example, somebody might see a dark blue and in manicaca because dark blue, I mean, you got like the French word, which would be bleu, but like if we just talking like the manicaca words, you got fin, which is dark, and then you got be, which is light, and you got wule for like orange, I mean, for red. But like it's like I said though too, like my brain did that because orange would probably be considered wule if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, so dark blue in that context would be fiend. Like if I had to describe, there's this waste bucket sitting over there, I could say a feeny like it is dark because it is dark. It's dark blue. That doesn't mean though that they're not seeing the differences in different colors, but it's just like what they're finding in certain languages is like, okay, well, there might be more individual words that a person is using. It's not standardized across the language. Uh, the theory that I was finding, I was thinking it would be, is if a language is less like industrialized and standardized, where people don't have to like, I guess, communicate with it across far distances in the way that like English has to, because like America's like a big empire. The UK was a big empire. So like if something's like a rank communication, you need to have like a more standardized way to talk about certain ideas and subjects. So that's why certain language, certain words, certain like colors need to be brought into the fray. Because imagine if I'm trying to make like the flag colors and I don't have a word specifically for red, white, and blue, right? So if I end up saying like fin anibe, like that's not gonna be very specific, right? Uh, so it's like just looking at, oh no, that wouldn't be fin. That would be William fin anibe. That's what it would be because red, white, and blue. My fault. But right, that's not helpful. So I think when you get like the Industrial Revolution and oh, you're getting instruction on how to make this thing, now you got to have more abstract ideas of colors that aren't just necessarily tied to the different objects and stuff like that. I guess basically what I was finding was, the words that we have in our languages are just representative of like the knowledge and cultural values. Don't tell me You're kicking me out the server again? Basically, I have a word, if a word has like a specificness, or there's like, oh my god, you're frustrating me, you're frustrating me, you're frustrating me, you're frustrating me. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna crash. It just shows what that those people were probably thinking about, because it translates different ideas and traditions as pertaining to different cultural values. And also helped me realize too, language is very inextricable from culture. Like, I understand when people are like, okay, well, I know how to cook the food, I like the clothing, whatever the case is. But if you don't know a language, you're missing so much out about the traditions and the culture, because you learn so much just by analyzing the words. Like, what was I thinking of? Oh, Imanikakan. Like, oh my days. You got like, there's three words that I'm thinking of for like types of rice. So if I say kinikise is like a piece of rice, right? And then next you have like kini, which would just be like normal rice, right? Just like, but then if I had kinikoro, that's like basically what's left at the bottom of the pan when when the rice is made, which is turned into like a meal that people eat. Like my mom really likes kinikoro. I don't know why she likes it. It doesn't taste really good to me, but nostalgia does things to people. But like, if I'm just talking about rice in English and I'm talking about all these different things, I mean, I might say like, you could say rice residue, but rice residue doesn't get to the idea of what it is. Because residue just, to me, feels like more wasteful. Whereas kinikoro is like very much like a food based thing. And you could say a piece of rice, but that's one of those examples where it's like, okay, you have more distinctions, more separations of different sorts of ideas than what's in the previous language. Does that mean that Manikakan is more or less developed in English? No, it just means we probably consume more rice than an English speaker does, which this is true. Um, I mean, folks have rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, yeah. Anyways, that was me today. Then, I don't know. I was reading, what's this book called? All About Love by Bell Hooks. I ain't gonna lie. She's tapped into something divine when she write, cause like one of them feelings, like these days, is like when I read the Quran, even like the Bible sometimes too. I've just been doing a little bit of that, reading the gospel and stuff. I mean, I was reading Genesis too, and a little bit of Exodus. I didn't finish, but what I'm saying is, it's like I really can only be reading it if I'm like feeling like that sort of type of, oh my God, why are they trying to kill me? I'm trying to like, I don't know, like some spiritual, some wisdom's coming through like that. But when I read Bell Hooks, like, I be feeling like it's not the same way, but it's a very similar type of way. Um, uh, ain't that about something? Uh, yeah, I was gonna say the last time I felt that way strongly about a book. Oh, I think the last book I felt like that was White Tears, Brown Scars. Yeah, it's a book about how white feminism often like still marginalizes the voices of BIPOC women, and how basically that sort of feminism kind of starts to amount to what is like corporate feminism. Like, oh, I want to make the same amount of money, but it's like not looking at the deeper issues and stuff like that. I'm very badly paraphrasing. It's been a minute since I read that. But then before that was probably the autobiography of Malcolm X. which was that was it's crazy because bro was living. I shouldn't say bro, but like he a brother in Snap, so Mila, like random Jenna. Basically, the fact that he's talking about stuff, and like I'm still seeing some of those threads are still there today. Obviously, sometimes like the outsides change a little bit, but like the mentalities ain't shit like crazy since then. Also, too, just seeing like the metamorphosis of thought. I think a lot of the time in the social media age, we like to think of, oh, well, somebody came out with this tweet like 10, 20 years ago. Twitter's not been around for 20 years. Uh, but they came out with this tweet. Nah, that's crazy. Like, why would they say that? That sort of thing. But this man was like changing under the spotlight. And my brain makes me wonder, like, would that have been able to happen in this modern social media age? Or will people like draw out like a previous Twitter post and be like, oh, well, I can't take this person seriously anymore. Let's cancel them. This, that, and the third. And that's not for me to say like, oh, I don't jack with cancel culture because like sometimes folks get canceled where I'm like, okay, but I think sometimes what happens with cancel culture is we don't rule with wisdom. Obviously, I think it's because we probably see people as more evil because like we hear about all the bad things people do in society. So when somebody does a single bad thing, we put them in the category of bad people, and we're less likely to give them another shot. Because I think it's easier to love somebody from far away, and I also think it's easier to hate somebody from far away too, which sounds like very backwards. But think about it, like the most vehement LeBron haters are like just random fans who maybe have $10.37 to their name in their bank account, but they'll talk about him all much. And then also like you'll see another person with $10.37 in their account who love LeBron. I think it's I don't know. I think a lot of people sit on social media, they're like, bro, we can't give this person a platform, this, that, and the third. But then they have some things in their closet, but because they're not in the public spotlight, it's like, okay, now nobody gets to know your stuff. But that doesn't mean that you don't have stuff that's going on. I do think there is a little bit of like, okay, you're a public figure, like you should know better. You should like try to educate yourself. You should be media trained, but it's tough. It's tough. Um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I could be a celeb. I wouldn't say I. If it happens, it happens. But like, would I prefer it? Eh, eh. I don't know. I feel like you'll be more than it's worth. I mean, more bother than it's worth. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm kind of sleep deprived. You couldn't tell. Uh, Because, like, then you're around people. You don't know if people are around you because you have clout or if people are around you because they actually, like, mess with who you are on, like, a personal level. And I think that's, I'm not even a famous person. Oh my days. I'm not even a famous person, but I feel like I think about that a sizable amount. Like, what is it that a person wants to be around me for? Sometimes I'll see somebody warm up to me, and I get like kind of paranoid. Like, I'll get like some intuition. I'm like, oh, let me stay clear of this person, or let me like put on like not a face, I would say, but like keep my not not let all of my accents come through. You talk about what's it called, like that color spectrum. Maybe like don't make the yellow so bright. You know, bring down the intensity of the hues and stuff because I want to see if the person rocks with me because like they just like see signs like that sort of connection, or it's because of like some outers. I think sometimes people view that as me just like not caring, but sometimes like I feel like I gotta tread carefully to protect myself because I would hate to like really be locked in and think somebody's my friend, and then they do something, but I'm like, ooh, a friend wouldn't do that. That's gonna hurt me more. So it's like trying to protect myself, but it's like also being in like a defensive mode all the time is not good either. Like we shouldn't be living in fear like that. But I don't know. No, I do know. It's a balance, right? Because you don't want to let people in who are gonna like mess up your peace or who don't value you, but at the same time, you can't be on guard about everything because then the love can never like fruit and germinate within you. So it's something I'm gonna grow with and I'm gonna get better at. God, so yeah. Enough of the sentimentals. Let's see. I'm in eighth place right now. If they don't kick me from the server, keep getting on my nerves. Keep getting on my nose. And you know, talking to a diva, yeah, she on my nerves. I came in. Walk, walk, what? I took the. Oh, 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 to Poland. I took the walk. Yeah. Where you going now? Where you going now? Where you going now? What on me? What on me? I took the walk. I took the walk. Doge. Shout out. No, not sponsored. Redacted. I've redacted that sponsorship. Doge, don't do it. What are you doing, Chad? Ipontrophe. Chale. Sometimes I wonder to myself, what would have happened if, like, bro, why am I asking what if, bro? My life is cool right now. You know, I got food, I got a place to sleep, I'm getting an education, you know, like that's that life, bro. I think a lot of people like to be in my shoes. I think it's normal to play that what if game, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of just no. I think you really gotta go. I think oh yeah. Oh ooh. Oh yeah. I was trying to cause something there, cause a panic. I think sometimes my brain's always like, oh well, things could be a little better. But it's like, nah, things are pretty smooth now. I'm not gonna say they perfect. I'm not even gonna say like I always like whatever it is that's going on, but I also recognize that it's an opportunity, especially in light of I get up with people. I'm like, oh shoot, you not you. It's not even like oh I'm not. I'm seeing like oh they not in school anymore, but I see that they're not in school. And I'm like oh dang like no this is like I don't know. I feel like I'm getting to this point where it's not that it's harder for me to relate to people, but like I'm seeing that the person who I used to be, who's like still there, is kind of like shifting, and it's not like there's been a couple of like nesting doll layers covered on top of who that person was, and I'm seeing those shifts, And then I like see people that I haven't seen in a minute. And I'm like, oh, I see why like I got up with you at that point in my life. But then I'm like, wait, like, is it gonna continue to work for me? And it's not like oh, I think I'm better now, but it's like a recognition of, oh, like we're all changing as people, right? So is it a logical thing for me to suggest, oh, I'm just gonna continue to keep being around who I'm gonna keep being around? Like I know some people end up doing that. You know, if that works for them, that's good. But I don't know. I feel like for me, I'm always about like developing. How am I gonna learn from more people? You know, like Batman. You know, he trained every single martial art. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm gonna just do karate and run karate." Like, no, I gotta learn them all. And I feel like I'm a Batman-minded sort of dude. I do that Jeet Kune Do. You know, train something, take what it is that you think is gonna value you, and then whatever you think is not gonna value you, then you do away with that, right? But that takes being in different environments. So sometimes it's less of a, oh, I don't like being around people, but it's like a, oh, I recognize that I need to develop in that sort of case, which was going to require being around different sorts of people. So I can't allow myself to be content with just being around the same people because if I'm around the same people, I'm going to have the same challenges, which is fine. But, you know, I want to be like a versatile type dude, you know? That's how I've always envisioned myself. Not just, oh, I can do this one situation really well. No, I want to be able to say, hey, oh, I have proficiency in this situation, proficiency in this situation, because you never know when the meta is going to shift. So you got to be adaptable, but you got to like do these different sorts of training methods beforehand, before the game comes up. So then when you have to hit like a different angle, you like, okay, boom, I'm already ready for it because they already came, bro. I put myself out there. Yeah. And that's why sometimes I'm like, okay, well, I'll be speaking to people. Yeah, no, that's basically the thought. But, yeah. I think sometimes that recognition is we realize, okay, well, some people like are cool where they're at, but it's like I'm not necessarily cool where I'm at. So what am I going to do about it? That's going to take access. I'm gonna do this one more time. It's gonna take a little bit more Oh my gosh, one more where it's actually running. I have to do a little bit more excess sacrifice, push to extend myself a little bit. Otherwise, it's not going to work out for me because the amount of resistance it takes to go against the current and then go into a different pond or different tributary river is going to be kind of hard. Uh, okay, but yeah, like trying to go upstream, go into a different river system is kind of hard to do, especially when you've been going in the current for a long period of time. It doesn't mean you can't do it, but it means it's gonna take a little bit of extra effort. So it's a recognition that okay, you might not see other people around you doing it, but if you want to get to that next river, then you got to do what it takes. With that being said, it's been Agario Conversations with Bengali, you know, ranting, monologuing, I don't know what you want to call it, sleep drunkenness, a man, a woman. Why does that always sound weird when I say hey woman? Like woman sounds like I wear wife beaters. I actually be my wife. But it was good speaking with y'all. Y'all have a good day, evening, morning, early afternoon, siesta. Deuce. Deuce.